Back to the TechLounge studio. We're live again here in Hall 2, booth B60 at the Intel booth, of course, at CeBIT 2015. It's the second day of the show, still the biggest IT show in the world. And I'm super proud and very, very excited to have WK Leung over here. He's CTO of Huawei for Enterprise Solution.
For the enterprise sector, yes.
Oh, we need to get the microphone.
Yeah.
Perfect. So you have a massive booth over here in Hall 2, right in between IBM, and we have Samsung, Intel, and it's just a very, very huge presence, and especially for for people that are coming into CeBIT maybe for the very first time. You started to really enter the Western markets a couple of years ago. But I mean, of course, in China, you've already had a huge success in the future. Sorry, not in the future. You will have.
Yeah.
You see, that was already a prediction. That was a good one. So you had a huge success in the past. You're very well known over here in Germany for your mobile hotspots. Your smartphones are becoming more and more popular. Mm-hmm. And just 2 weeks ago, you basically launched the most beautiful smartwatch that ever saw the light of this world during Mobile World Congress. But over here, CeBIT, this is, of course, all about infrastructures, all about ecosystems. Mm-hmm. So what is actually what you're doing besides the products that we can actually see and touch, right? You're doing a lot for infrastructure.
Let me start with a short explanation about ourselves. Okay, so Huawei actually quite well known in the SP or the carrier sector. So we are one of the top two telecom manufacturers. So all the major operators know us. They are all our customers. But we are not that well known to the consumer market or enterprise market. But the company make a very strategic decision 4 years ago to step into the consumer market, like the handset, the endpoint that you have seen. But at the same time, we also focus on the enterprise sector. So after 4 years of development on the enterprise sector, we're also doing okay, pretty promising, put it this way. So that's why you see we are. I mean, this is the 4th year or 5th year that we come to CeBIT. We start with something very small, but now it's more or less on the same par as the other major vendors. So here actually we would like to demonstrate all the solutions that we have developed for the enterprise segment customer. So we have so we are 100% focusing on the infrastructure itself rather than applications. But we do believe we do have advantage because of all the back-end R&D resource that we have. Yeah.
And when we take a look at your booth, just what you mentioned before is you're just getting this big picture of what you're really doing, right? I mean, especially in Germany, you became when people just read it in the news last year, you became a sponsor of 2 of the most successful football clubs over here, and you were creating the infrastructure in their stadiums over there, so which is Borussia Dortmund and Schalke 04.
That one actually is, I would say, built on our know-how on the wireless and LTE, because if you look at the stadium, it's talking about, I hope you have been there, I mean, watching. So it's talking about more than 80,000 audience. I mean, everybody want to have connected, okay, and they may take picture, take video, and send it up, down, and go down, and also. So I mean, when we talk to the stadium, they really want to have solutions that are able to cover everything. Yeah. Okay. So when we look at the existing technology like the Wi-Fi or like the LTE, it's not designed for such a high density. So we take what we have from the Wi-Fi. We have to be Wi-Fi because most of handsets are still Wi-Fi, not LTE. And then we take what we have on the Wi-Fi, and then look at the problem with Wi-Fi, because I mean, using normal Wi-Fi with such a high density environment, then you will have a lot of problem, interference, the quality will be real bad. So we take our engineer here, and based on also, because we have been in the mobile market, we have been in the mobile technology for 20 years, so we know quite a lot of things on the radio component. So we combine all this know-how together and come up with the high-density Wi-Fi solution suitable for this environment. So that actually demonstrates one thing where difference compared to Huawei to others major vendor. Of course, we do have accumulated know-how. Yes. I think the major key area is actually we are more willing to come out with customized solution based on customer-specific requirements. So high-density Wi-Fi is just an example.
And you know what? I've been to so many conferences in the world, so many shows and events in the world, where they squeeze just 2,000, compared to 63,000 in Schalke, 80,000 in Dortmund, right? Just 2,000, and they could never ever manage it. You guys have this huge heritage, this huge history of creating networks, building professional, of course, the best components and modules in the world. That's why you have this great relationships with all the telcos.
The major challenge on that particular high-end Wi-Fi, high-density Wi-Fi, is actually not on the loading in the back end. It's actually how to minimize the interference between the access point and also between the handset. Okay. And then we come up with a lot of special design antenna, small angle, and then we come up with a different software so that the access points sync up with each other to control the signal so that they do not interfere with each other that much. So, and also the handshake between the endpoint and the AP. So there's a lot of customization there, but everything's still standard. Everything's still standard.
Okay.
Yeah, but actually the customization actually on the access point and access controller to make them work in a way that allow for much less interference between each other.
I think we need to talk to CeBIT that you also create the infrastructure over here at CeBIT. I would love that personally, trust me.
Yeah, I really want you to actually test in the site that we have built. And as a matter of, because of that, we got a number of wins after that. So let's say in Netherlands, in Portugal, I mean, they all love that. Okay.
Plus you're actually at the right moment, at the right point over here, because we have a huge discussion, even though that I'm not living in Germany for the last 9 years, but there's a huge discussion, a public discussion going on about public Wi-Fis in Germany right now. So this is starting to happening in Europe, finally, right? That we're getting bigger networks, bigger infrastructures, that people can go to the internet everywhere.
But this is something, if you ask me, let's say 2 or 3 years ago, I've been more or less quite in sync, okay, public Wi-Fi. But if you look at the market development, people start to question.
Yeah.
Because, the LTE is getting more and more popular.
Yeah.
And the pricing package of LTE is getting more attractive.
Absolutely.
So actually in China, we start to see people continue using LTE rather than moving to Wi-Fi.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think moving forward, the so-called public Wi-Fi only solution may not be the optimum solution that people are acting to. But as a matter of fact, what we are working together with some enterprise and also the carrier is to come up with the so-called single cell concept to combine everything together. And then we have a roaming between Wi-Fi and LTE. And
so it's a hybrid or a package?
Yeah, that is exactly what the market is heading to, rather than just have a Wi-Fi alone and then LTE alone. So that is not the model we believe anymore. So that will be more integrated Wi-Fi LTE combined with this small cell concept, and then to have seamless integration between Wi-Fi and LTE and also Wi-Fi.
Which could also help us to get even better bandwidth.
Yes, better bandwidth for sure. Because they can dynamic allocate, put you in different spectrum, okay? And actually also saving you better user experience.
Yeah.
And saving you actually a lot of cost, because let's say you are using LTE, and then when you move back to office, automatically put you to your existing Wi-Fi.
Right.
And then you are making call and using the voice over IP between your network. So there's a lot of things being developed, or a lot of application will be developed because of the merge of the Wi-Fi and the public LTE.
Which basically also creates a kind of seamless experience for me, right?
Yes.
Which is very important, that I'm going to, and I'm not disconnecting while I'm switching over from LTE or 3G into an ordinary Wi-Fi network. That this is just happening.
We can make a bet. Let's say next year when we come and talk to each other again, then I'm pretty sure there will be new service provided by the service operator for Wi-Fi LTE integration, serving your enterprise, so that you can have seamless integration, voice fixed mobile convergences. There's a lot of things. So let's have a look next year to see what new service will be available.
I am really looking forward
not
to this.
Not just public Wi-Fi. That's not the way.
Especially, in Central Europe, mobile data traffic, it's just still quite expensive. We've just had a spokesperson of Vodafone sitting over here, and the first thing people were asking about, so when are we getting less expensive data contracts? And so therefore, if I have the chance to seamlessly switch over into a Wi-Fi network, it's actually me not even noticing that I'm using a Wi-Fi network or a public hotspot or somehow. This also saves me money.
That will be more service available.
Yeah.
I mean, because of that. Okay, so but let's see next year then we can have bet on that. Okay, so it's not the standalone public Wi-Fi. So that is not the way.
You know, as I said, I have to admit I'm a huge fan of your products. When you had the first mobile hotspots coming out, and at that time, I had my first Huawei hotspot like 4 years ago. Yeah, around 4 or 5 years ago. At that time, battery life on smartphones was terrible, and especially when you open up a hotspot on your smartphone, you could actually look at the battery, how it was just going down. Yeah. So that was the time when I switched to a mobile hotspot from Huawei, because I could save so much battery on my devices, on my smartphone. And now I actually have the newest version, which is now a 4G. It has 10 hours of battery life, absolutely amazing. And the coolest thing is it also shows me a lot about how you think about infrastructures and network is. I can use my Huawei Wi-Fi hotspot to log into a public Wi-Fi and then share it over the hotspot. So I'm a subscriber to the Boingo network because I'm traveling a lot. So Boingo is just the biggest public Wi-Fi network. But of course I can only connect one device to it. And when I'm traveling like with 2 or 3 devices, I can just use your hotspot, log into the Wi-Fi network, and then use the hotspot to share this Wi-Fi. It's absolutely brilliant. There's no other competitor that's doing this.
You know, I mean, put it this way, I mean, the reason, I mean, actually we are relatively new to the so-called consumer sector.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, we are not that new because in the past, actually, we are doing development for the operators and they're using their band, but now we are using our own band. But the point I would like to stress is that actually is what we call the know-how accumulated in the research lab that we have. And, you know, I mean, we have an organization called 2012 Lab, which is more or less like the Bellnet in the AT&T old days.
Yeah,
okay, so that's focusing on all the basic technology. And the reason why we can catch up so fast is, let's say, I mean, we have our own chipset. The handset that we have is using our own ARM chipset. Yeah. And actually that is actually fundamental capability and that allow us to be, you know, I would say running faster than the others. And we are pretty confident on that because, I mean, that I would say this is what we call the long-term sustainable factor for the company. And as a matter of fact, the ARM chipset is not only for the handset, we are also using, let's say, the ARM chipset for our routers. Yeah. You know, people talk, you go to our booth, we talk a lot about IoT. Then the router, the traditional router is no longer used as a branch router in the office. Yeah. It's an ideal platform as a, you know, data capture for IoT. Yeah. Then come out a solution with, you know, IoT, you need to be handle different tough environment like outdoor, put it in the power station. Yeah. So coming out with a product that actually will, I mean, you also need to care about, you know, power consumption. So that's advantage we see using ARM chipset. Yeah.
And you are one of the few manufacturers that is out there that is building all of this in-house. I mean, development of the SoC to also develop this together with your wireless modules, right? I think it's very, very crucial and just also supports the efficiency.
Our engineers are very proud of our what we call the basic technology know-how. Like you look at the server that we have developed. I mean, we still keep the record of the SAP HANA running on our server. Yeah. I mean, it's not just a pure server. There's a lot of design to customize it. For example, we do have a chipset specially designed for our PCI SSD card that packed on the server that allow, I mean, different applications run on it, including SAP HANA, much more effective. So I mean, all come with the basic know-how, you know, there's a fundamental technology. So we are pretty good on that.
So for you personally, I mean, we've been talking about 5G. We're talking about the Internet of Things for so many years already. We've had all the cloud computing buzzwords in the past. This year, the theme for CeBIT is the digital economy. What's going to be next year's big thing? I mean, you're connecting all the biggest stadiums in the world. What's the next challenge for Huawei?
I think, when we talk, put it this way, we look at the market. It's good to see what the customer major pain point, okay? Then we see customer on one hand, they need to continue improve their infrastructure, to make it more agile, to make it more dynamic, more flexible, and cost effective.
Yes.
So there's a lot of discussion focusing on private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud, and virtualization, and also coexistence of using OpenStack as a platform. And people, although they're happy with the VMware functionality, they're extremely unhappy with the pricing. So people are talking about using OpenStack as an IaaS alternative, and then the migration or the merge between OpenStack and VMware sort of thing. So this is one of the areas that we see will continue to be a hot topic for the next 2 years because it's not easy. Yeah. So people are talking about the so-called next generation infrastructure, and then we put a lot of development effort on top of it. But at the same time, we continue optimize our hardware platform to make it run faster. But on the other hand, we also start to see ICT is no longer considered as support or enable. It's part of the business. So we also see a lot of business or customer, they use it as a way to create a new business. For example, we have banks in China that they allow their sales moving on the road. Let's say doing all the small loan application. In the past, it probably take them 4 weeks to go for the check. But now with the big data analysis, special for the special design for the small loan, they can have approval in a minute. Yeah. And so all this actually related to using of the new technology for new services, and actually the merge of different type of new technology. So the example I gave you, including BYOD, because sales on the road, they need to have a BYOD to make sure it's a secure solution, and they need a BYOD platform to manage the device because they have so many cells, and they need to have what we call the CeBIT, communication enabled business process, that actually tie their banking application through the unified communication platform so that they can have more effective communication between the service consultant at the back end and the sales and the customer. And then they have a big data analysis through a tool that allow them to have analysis. Before it's actually 4 weeks, now it's 1 minute. So all these are based on the new tech. So to answer your question, I would say 2 areas: infrastructure itself, optimization, and new service with new solution.
It's all about the efficiency and bringing technologies together.
Efficiency and also bring the technology to drive the business. So what we call, if you look at the slogan that we have this year, it's business-driven ICT. Okay. It's not reactive, but it's driven,
WK, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to talk to you next year again.
For the Wi-Fi LTE.
We have to. We have to. Wir machen jetzt einen kurzen Einspieler. Und zwar haben wir den Rob Vegas bei Klaas. Das ist Connected Landwirtschaft, Industry 4.0. Wir schauen uns etwa so 5,5 Minuten, 6 Minuten, gehen wir kurz in die Pause rein, sind dann gleich wieder zurück und haben dann jemanden von Microsoft da. Kai Menzel, Marketing Manager Microsoft Germany. Und ich sage bis gleich.